My memories in New Orleans, facing my brother in the Super Bowl. Excited?
Yeah, very excited.
Good.
You?
Yeah, absolutely. How can you not be? Huh? All right, I'll see you. Hey, come here. I love you. Be good today.
Okay.
Proud of you. Really proud of you. And then Allison, my daughter, who's on the sideline, comes up and whispers,
We can do it.
We can do it.
you know, it's like, yeah, you're right, we can do it, you know?
Flacco takes the snap. 49ers rush 4. Flacco lob down the middle. Caught. Bolden. Touchdown.
It was incredible. You know, we were the underdogs going into that.
Throws down the middle. Intercepted and Reed. Jacoby Jones 20. Shed the tackle 30. Jacoby Jones midfield. He might. 30. He will go all the way.
We came out buzzing, you know, and then the lights go off.
Why's the clock stopped? Why's the clock stopped?
It was dark in the stadium, and everyone was just confused on what was going on.
What about the momentum? I mean, you guys get the big kick return, and
It doesn't matter.
you're not
I don't
worried.
think it matters.
When things came back, that was a real changing point for the game because that's when the 49ers started coming back.
Drills one to the near side. Crabtree catches hold. Spins away, and Crabtree will take it in for a touchdown. Kaepernick's legs strike again.
Touchdown Winston, Crab! Touchdown Winston!
Super Bowl will come down to 4th down.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Crabtree Moss.
Lewis comes on a blitz. Kaepernick lob to the end zone. Incomplete. No flags on the play. The Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl champions.
Okay. Hey, you two, good job. Proud of you. Proud of you.
Hard to believe, even to this day.
I will never forget it. One of my favorite pictures is me in that moment sitting on the mascot's lap with the newspaper, Ravens Win.
We are live from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. There's a wild air of anticipation.
I was at the Orange Bowl when the Bears came to play the Dolphins, and they were undefeated.
There have been 3 undefeated teams. The last to be undefeated were the 72 Dolphins. Miami would like to see their record stay intact.
I mean, that was the whole thing, was they're coming on our turf and they're trying to break our record.
Coach Shula, he didn't talk about it at all. He didn't talk about, you know, winning the game for the history of the Dolphins or any of that. But as a player, you could feel it. Zonka and all the guys were out there, and you could feel the fact that it meant something to everybody.
Well, Miami's going to have to play the best game they've played this season. And if either team has an emotional edge tonight, it's the Miami Dolphins.
And that was the best defense I ever played against. With the way their pass rush was, I was just trying to get out of there alive.
Marino has been buffeted about, but he's kept his calm and his cool.
Back forward to 30, 25, back to the middle, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Dolphins.
It was interesting because Buddy Ryan had a very aggressive blitzing style, and we really matched up well against them because the way we got the ball out quick, it was very successful.
Into the orange of plate. Oh, and are things going right for the Dolphins tonight? What a victory for the Dolphins. And Dan Marino reigns supreme once again.
That game was one of the all-time great games in the history of the NFL, and I think it's forgotten because it was not a championship or a Super Bowl game. But they'd get ahead, then we'd go ahead, then they'd get ahead, then we'd go ahead, then we're tied.
He goes medium deep to Casper. Casper makes it over the shoulder catch.
Someone has to win the game. And then we go into the 6th period. And I remember Kenny Stabler coming over, and, you know, I was going on and on. He goes, "You know what, John?" And I said, "What?" You know, thinking he had a good idea to get a touchdown to win the game. And he's looking up in the stands and said, "These fans are getting their money's worth today." Don't be telling me about what the hell the fans are doing to try and get a touchdown here.
Stabler play action fake, wants to throw into the end zone. Casper's there, touchdown Oakland. And the Oakland Raiders have won this epic kind of a struggle.
The
Greatest game I ever watched was Super Bowl 32. Had to see my man John Elway. Elway had been to so many Super Bowls, but he could never get over the hump, and everybody was giving him a hard time, and they didn't think he could win the big game. I just remember that commitment on his face.
It was my 15th year, so therefore I had a lot more experience, and plus was able to draw off the 3 previous experiences that I'd had at the Super Bowl. Plus we had Terrell Davis behind me.
I normally take medication for my migraine headaches, and I forgot that day. I was so focused on my assignments that I just forgot to take the medication.
Davis into the end zone, touchdown!
We've just ended the first quarter. The worst thing that could happen was starting to happen. My vision starts to get a little blurred. Everything is just scrambled. And then I go to the sideline, I tell Mike Shanahan, I said, Mike, I can't see.
What's that? You can't see.
And Mike's response is,
Okay, just do this. You don't worry about seeing on this place because we're going to fake it to you the 15 lead. But if you're not in there, they won't believe we're going to throw the ball, okay?
So I run in there. We do a play action pass. John fakes it to me on the left side, rolls out to his right.
Play fake. Elway rolls right. He can run it in.
He runs it in for a touchdown.
Come on. Okay, let's go.
Half ends. I come back out to the field. I'm feeling better. I can see. It's a critical 3rd down. We have to get the 1st down.
3rd and 6, Elway, shotgun. Almost offside, but the Packers got back on. Elway, scrambling, looking, running, diving inside the 5-yard line for a 1st down.
And I remember thinking at that moment, when he did that, there is no way we're going to lose this game.
This has been an inspired game by a bunch of underdogs. 2nd and goal from the 1 with 1:47. Fans in Denver now on the edge of their seats.
Davis into the end zone, rocking, standing up. Oh, baby, they're going to win this thing. A Super Bowl championship for John Elway.
This one's for John.
This one's for John.
Every time I see it now, I still get that feeling in my stomach. What a great feeling that was to be able to put it all together as a football team.
Philadelphia Coliseum in Nashville, the AFC wildcard. He gets it off, fumbles the snap, drops, he's in trouble. Sack has got him in the end zone. Sack, safety.
It's Antoine. He's in. He dances in for the touchdown.
Kind of went that little back and forth, and honestly, they dominated the majority of that 4th quarter.
The game is on the line. The kick on the way, long enough, and it is good. The Bills have taken the lead with 16 seconds to play. Do you believe it?
The game was over, in my opinion. It was over. Buffalo was going to go to the next round.
You're a champion. You got to win on the road, baby.
When Chrissy kicks a field goal, we know that, hey, it's just a dire straits now.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them? If they do, they need it now.
I remember saying something in the moment, too, saying, let's just make sure they don't take it to the house here.
Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson. He's got something. 30. He's got 40, something. 50. He's got it. 40, he's got it. 20, 10. He's got it. End zone. Touchdown Titans. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
Yeah, flag on the play, flag on the play, flag on the play. Where's the flag?
Will they review the backwards pass to make sure it's a backwards pass?
I thought it was going to get called back. I thought they were going to review it and call it back.
It is so close.
That looks like it's a lateral.
It's a lateral.
Absolutely. I was behind the line and everything. I didn't even think it was close.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It was a lateral.
Yes! Titans win.
Had he changed that call, that dude probably be better than the stadium right now. There's no way he gets out of there.
I wasn't supposed to be back there.
A miracle? I don't know. That just was a lucky play.
Next year, 3-peat. We're going for 3 again.
They had already been anointed the 3-peat. We had been hearing it from the minute they knew that they were going to be in the championship game. By Tuesday of that week, word had gotten out that they had started shipping all of their stuff to Tampa, getting ready for the Super Bowl. So Bill Parcells came in with a suitcase And he threw it in the middle of the meeting room and says, I don't know about you, but I'm planning for 2 weeks. Like, he was offended that they would take us so lightly, and we were even more pissed.
That's supposed to be us against the world. Come on.
San Francisco was thinking they were going to three-peat. The Giants came in, and they didn't get that memo.
Keep hammering them. Keep hammering those outside receivers.
It was a really, really intense game. Pretty gruesome as far as like hits go, you know. I mean, that, oh my God.
Here's Montana, long time in the pocket, but chased out, finally hit from behind. And Montana still on his hands and knees.
And he really took a shot in that back.
He hit Joe, and we thought he killed him. It was beautiful. I mean, I love you, Joe, but the rules were a little different then, and we knew that we could impact the game if Joe Montana wasn't in it.
13-12, the 49ers by a point, and the clock continues to tick off those precious seconds.
Lawrence came in the huddle and says, we're not losing, we need to get a turnover. It was a call to action.
1st and 10. Ring hit behind the line of scrimmage, and the Giants have the ball. Lawrence Taylor out of the pack.
You knew that the Giants were going for it, so who should get it? Lawrence Taylor.
We're a minute away from Tampa Bay, baby. A minute away. A minute away, baby.
Giants need about 20 yards to get within field goal range. Hofstadter throws, complete far sideline. 4 seconds on the clock. It all depends on Matt Barr. Giants are trailing by a point. Fans are on their feet and screaming. Snap, spot, kick is away. It's got the distance. It is good. Good.
And the Giants are going to Tampa Bay.
There will be no three-peat. The Giants win it.
Damn right. They said it could be done. Yes.
Playoffs, win or go home. You play right here.
It was obviously a crazy game, a chance to go to the NFC Championship game, a lot of back and forth.
In the first half of that ball game, we played really, really well.
Toss left to McKinnon. Turns it up 10, 5, touchdown! Breeze flustered, and he's sacked!
Dominated the first half of the game. I think it was up 17-0 at halftime, and things were looking good.
It's been total domination by both the Vikings offense, but even more so by their defense.
We got a leader in Drew Brees, and you never shake when Drew's in there because he always got his game face on.
Here's Brees, dropping, looking, throwing into the end zone. Alvin Kamara, touchdown Saints!
Snap spot, Lutz's kick is up, and it is good.
Yes! Boom!
Kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I'm like, I got my airheads. I'm beating the airheads on the sideline. Like, yeah, we good. Like, we about to go to the next round.
Let's go. He's gonna score. Let's go. This is all or nothing right here.
10 seconds to go. 24-23 Saints. Vikings at their own 39. It's 3rd down. We need a Minneapolis miracle. Case on a deep drop, steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side, caught by Diggs. Oh, he got loose at the 30, 10, touchdown! Are you kidding me?
Honestly, I didn't even see the play happen. I just heard everybody start screaming. I look up, and then I seen just Diggs just running towards the end zone. And then the first thing I do is look for a flag, make sure it's a real thing. And it was real. It was a miracle.
Man, I'm like, what? Never in a million years would that happen.
Stephon Diggs and the Minnesota Vikings have walked up on the New Orleans Saints. It's a 61-yard Minneapolis miracle.
It was one of the most exciting football games. Girls are waving black bras, black underwear. It was crazy. They run the opening kickoff back for a touchdown.
The sellout Coliseum crowd despair.
They totally took the air out of us. And then we fought back.
Stabler back, looks left, throws right, a leaking catch, touchdown!
It was a war out there.
My brother hated the Raiders, and Kenny Stabler was falling down.
He throws, it is!
Clarence Davis caught it with about 7 Dolphins on him, and my brother threw a ball across the room, and I was so happy I cried for 10 minutes.
They still had time for a comeback. And Greasy throws a deep one, and I picked it off, and I got to go over and give the ball to Coach Madden. Made me feel like $1 million.
I grew up in Cleveland. I was a huge Cleveland Browns fan.
From Mile High Stadium, the Browns against the Broncos for the right to go to the Super Bowl. It's the rematch the Browns have long awaited.
I just knew the Cleveland Browns were going to the Super Bowl.
60 minutes.
Our football team. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go.
My friends and I, we were all gathered around singing Brown songs. Bernie Kosar had a song. It was Bernie, Bernie. And John Elway, man, it's like they couldn't get to him.
Touchdown, Ricky the field.
Kept making play after play after play.
Touchdown, Mark Jackson, 80 yards.
This is ridiculous.
That's just classic Browns. But the more you throw at us, the harder we're coming back.
Loops it for Biner, who got us at 15, 10, 5, touchdown Browns. Movement on the line as Bernie's back to throw. Fires, touchdown Slaughter. On a slant in, the Browns are within a point of equalizing matters.
It's no wonder my dad had a nervous breakdown while he was a sports writer, and I'm not kidding. You know, he'd be writing on deadline, and he couldn't finish up his story before the game ended because you didn't know what was going to happen.
It's the Broncos 38, the Browns 31. Fasten your seatbelts. Bernie hands off to Biner on a draw. Biner inside the 5 to the 4 to the 3 to the 2. He fumbles the football.
Jeremiah Castile, number 28, reaching in to strip that ball away.
It's so hard to watch. It's devastating.
Unbelievable. Doesn't seem fair.
I refuse to talk to John Elway because I am still hurt and heartbroken about what he did to the Cleveland Browns. Bernie, Bernie, oh yeah, the Super Bowl. And we didn't go.
I actually remember the 2006 AFC Championship game being more emotional than winning the Super Bowl.
You know, you have two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time going up against one another, and the Patriots just broke our hearts year after year after year, and some people were doubting Peyton. Can he win the big game? Can he beat Tom Brady?
There's such a history between these clubs going way back.
We've lost to the Patriots twice in the playoffs.
Play hard, play smart, play together, all right? Win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win!
Well, then the game starts, and then all of a sudden, things are not happening the way that we planned. Fumbles going the wrong way. It's the Patriots going down, scoring those touchdowns, and I remember being down a few scores going into halftime.
I remember talking to the team on the sideline and saying, we just got to fight through this.
Hey, we'll still use normal cadence. Yeah, let's check out the tempo. Went out there in that third quarter and started putting some points on the board.
Go from the one-man quarterback sneak. Did he get there?
He looks like he's in.
Looks like he did. Looks like he did. Touchdown! The Patriots 21, Colts 13.
This is our moment, and we are going to make this thing happen. Oh, yeah, and the Dan Klecko touchdown. A defensive tackle going to play fullback and scores a touchdown.
Nice shot, baby! That's what I'm talking about.
We come down to the final minute. Joseph Adai scores to put us ahead for the first time. 59 minutes we've been behind. We got the lead with a minute to go.
Goes one over the net, intercepted! We're going to the Super Bowl! What a comeback! What an effort!
I've never seen a stadium that electric. It was one of my best memories in football.
To beat that team that you just couldn't beat, to do it, hands down, was the best memory.
Exercising demons everywhere.